Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news, and I can tell you what, straight away, there's no transfer news today that's got any April Fool's element to it at all. I don't think it's the time. A lot of us are on lockdown. It's a very serious time. If anyone doesn't know what April Fool's is, it's a time on April the 1st, between when you wake up and midday, people tell lots of different jokes about things like, United have signed Messi, or, people will be doing it. I don't think it's a very good idea. And to my best mate who sent me the text message this morning, lives on his own. He said, I've fallen down the stairs. I'm in real big pain. Call an ambulance. I ain't falling for it. I'm not falling for it. Liam Gallagher died a couple of years ago. So I ain't falling for this one either. Funnily enough, he hasn't replied in ages, but I'm not falling for it. It's not the time. Hello everybody anyway, and welcome to Manchester United transfer news. And we've got some interesting stories for you today. And I'm going to start off with, we're going to talk Grealish, Pogba, but I'm going to start off with Ronaldo, because I think a lot of people would think Ronaldo, April the 1st, April Fools. Well, no, it's not, because it's coming from Italy, who are being absolutely ravaged by this global virus, and I don't think they would think that this is a time to be telling a joke. So Il Messaggero, I think I pronounced that right, are basically saying that Cristiano Ronaldo could leave Juventus this summer and return to Manchester United in what would be a dream move for many United fans because of the global crisis, which I was talking about last night in relation to financial play. Juventus have spent a lot of money on Ronaldo, and Juventus are losing a lot of money at the moment, like a lot of clubs are. And there may well be clubs out there that have to do things financially that they don't really want to do. Now, if you're PSG or you're Man City and you're funded by billionaires, as long as you abide by financial fair play, and we know they haven't done that in the past, they're not going to go bust. They've got reservoirs of money and oil, so they'll be fine. But football clubs that don't have that and rely on their revenue to keep them afloat could have issues. Now look, do I think Ronaldo is going to come back to United? It's the similar old story that we seem to have every single season, but I would still take Ronaldo at United, even at his age now, mid-30s. I still think that Ronaldo would offer something to Manchester United that would almost be perfect in many ways, because he'd want to play games, his experience, the fact that he's a winner, but surrounding him with people like with Rashford and Martial and a Jadon Sancho as well, hopefully. The senior citizen, the player who's done it all, the player who is a born leader, the player who's a winner, and also the romance. I mean, look, I wouldn't normally want a player of that age to come to United, but with Ronaldo, there's two things. One, he's played for us before, and he's arguably been our best player ever in the Premier League era. Two, he doesn't really have the fitness levels of a normal player in his mid-30s. I still think he's as fit and as ready as somebody who's about 30, late 20s. So I think Ronaldo could come and do a job. Do I think it's going to happen? Of course I don't. Do I think we have to discuss it? Well, we don't have to, but we are, because I read it this morning. So the thing is, if Juventus needed to sell Ronaldo to raise money, United are a club that doesn't like to spend money, so it doesn't even fit in that sense. We refused a Ronaldo deal 2 years ago when he left Real Madrid. We were considered to be an option for Ronaldo, and we never even looked at it. So I think that was a mistake on United's part 2 years ago. So I don't think we would do it again now, if I'm totally honest with you. But you just don't know what's going to happen with this financial crisis over the next coming weeks and months. Independent, couple of interesting stories coming out last night as well around Grealish and Pogba from two different sources. The Independent are saying that Manchester United, if they were to sell Paul Pogba this summer, they will not take anything less than £100 million. Which, whether this is true or not, I think it's a strong, firm statement from United that is required and is needed, because when you've got Dortmund saying, look, we're not taking anything less than 100 million for Jadon Sancho, regardless of what the financial crash is in the market, I think United need to come out and say the same thing about Paul Pogba. We've heard that, Pogba could be available for as little as 70 million because of the financial crisis. Well, no, I disagree with that. I don't think that should be the case at all. I think play a hard bargain. Let's see where this all goes. I mean, look, many of us think that Pogba will ultimately end up staying at Manchester United, but you just don't know. You just don't know how quick things can change and go back to normal. So if Pogba is to go, I think United are right to say, look, we want £100 million at least for this player. And I think, that's encouraging to hear that, because United are going to have to play hardball if players are wanted by other clubs. I mean, look, we're not going to be able to play hardball with Phil Jones. You say you want 12 million. You better be ready to take 12 quid. But, in serious though, I mean, there are certain players that you can drive a hard bargain still with, and I think Pogba would be one of those. And whatever anybody thinks about Paul Pogba, he is a player that brings a lot to a club that he goes to. The merchandising is massive in the modern game and will be even more so after this because people are going to need to make money. So Pogba is still a very valuable tool for Manchester United. Just a little bit of a reminder as well for anybody who's not been watching my FIFA career mode, it is Europa League final day today. I'll be streaming about 3 o'clock live. It's the last stream of this season. It's been an interesting season. We're still fighting for top 4. We've got 2 league games and then the Europa League. So very interesting stream if you want a bit of entertainment. 3 o'clock today. I'm even thinking about putting my suit on. But we've got Europa League final against Wolves. And Wolves are fighting us 4th place as well. Wolves, what's that all about? But you can join. That's on I'll drop the link in the video description for you for that. So you can subscribe and be ready. Jack Grealish. This came out last night from The Times. They're saying that Manchester United still very much in for Jack Grealish because they want competition for places in the midfield. So from the weekend where Grealish is a prat to, I mean, I even said it myself, right now I don't want him anywhere near Manchester United, to his apology, to the discussions, to potentially Manchester United is still in there. And remember I said this last night, it's not about transfers get worked on over a long period of time. United could have this deal almost finalised already. Of course they can. You know, second chances are there for a reason. He's acted like a prat. Does it, you know, the longer we move away from that, the more I think, well, you know what, it is about the football player, but you do have concerns about it, of course you do, but you just don't know how advanced the deal is with Grealish. And if we sell Pogba, then we do need a player like that, or 2. So if we don't sell Pogba, do we need a player like that? Probably we still do, because if anything happens to Bruno or you want to rest Bruno, who are you going to play? Pogba, who may not even be here, or even if he is, he's still quite injury prone and inconsistent. Where's the attacking midfielders? Bruno comes out of that team and you're back with Pereira, Lingard and Mata, who, let's be honest, whatever you think about those 3 players, failed us this season in those roles. Mata, because I don't think he's too old now to play the number 10 against decent sides. He can do it at home to Norwich and the lesser teams, and that's great for a squad player. Pereira and Lingard failed badly. They're just not good enough. So I think even if Pogba stays, you still need an attacking midfielder, especially with the lack of development of a Gomez and the uncertainty around him. I think we're well stacked on the sort of defensive midfielder stage with, you know, McTominay's not a creator, Fred's not a creator, Matic isn't a creator. We like all those players, but in the more attacking midfield position, I think even if Pogba stays, you potentially still need a Grealish for competition for places. So that's quite encouraging that we'd be looking at that, even if Pogba stays. On De Ligt last night, there was some talk of De Ligt. We spoke about that. I just want to read a quote from Mino Raiola, though, because let's not forget, De Ligt is considered to be someone that United would look at. And even some outlets were saying it this morning. But let's read what Mino Raiola said about Manchester United in January. Out of touch from reality, I wouldn't take anyone there. They'd ruin Maradona or Messi. So I think it was Maradona he actually said. So that's Mino Raiola, De Ligt, Pogba, Lingard's agent saying Manchester United are out of touch and I wouldn't bring anyone there. And I think we need to remember this. Look, Raiola changes his opinion like he changes his pants. But ultimately, I don't like that agent, and I don't really want that many players at our club with that agent. If Pogba stays, we've got Mino Raiola, that's the way it will be. But I wouldn't be actively looking to bring Mino Raiola clients to this club because he is temperamental and you never know what he's going to do, and he's not afraid to make the club look stupid. Whether he's right or wrong, he's not afraid to do that. So that does represent problems for United. In other news, Coutinho's been linked to us again. I mean, this is just a deal I do not want, and I'm not sure that Coutinho would want it. We've seen people like Emre Can say didn't consider United because of Liverpool. Do we really want to go for a player like Coutinho that I don't think's that good? And then for him to say I'm not going to come because of my loyalty to Liverpool anyway. So I'm not a big fan of Coutinho, and I also feel that Coutinho is the ship that we've sent away and we don't want to turn around. It's the Schweinsteiger ship, it's the Di Maria ship, it's the Falcao ship. It's the ship where, he's a very good player, or was a very good player. He's coming to us to resurrect his career because it hasn't worked out somewhere else. We want the players like the Wan-Bissakas and the Brunos and potentially the Grealish and the Sancho who are on a trajectory up. They're not leaving a club for a second chance or because they've fallen on hard times. They're taking a step up to our club to further their career. They're the players we should be looking for, not Coutinho, in my opinion. There. Also, what else did I want to talk about? I thought there was something else I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what I wanted to talk about. I've been caught short. Yeah, I mean, look. Do I think Ronaldo comes to Manchester United? Probably not. Do I think Pogba will leave? Probably not. Do I think that Grealish will come to United? I think there's a lot of noise around it, and there was a lot of noise around it a month ago. So it can still happen for Manchester United. And I think, you know, we're living in a time now where you are on tender hooks in relation to what's going on in the wider world, and I'm not going to talk about that because this is a football channel. But ultimately, there will be deals that have already been worked on, and it's whether United decide to park those deals or not. I mean, I read something this morning, and it's absolutely correct. You don't know if you're operating, what transfer market you're operating in. If football comes back, there will be a small transfer market because you've got to finish the season, end it for a little bit, and come back for the new one. So it's a small transfer window. United might only be able to do one deal this summer, and I think many of us agree if we're going to do one deal, it's going to be Jadon Sancho. So we may not be able to do other deals because look at Wan-Bissaka, look at Harry Maguire, look at Dan James, look at Bruno Fernandes. They're our last 4 transfers, and they took a long time. So United might only be prioritising one deal for many reasons, and if that's the case, then, you know, it's Sancho for me. As much as I would love us to sign a CDM that we're not even linked with, it is Sancho for me. But look, we'll have to just wait and see. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Just a reminder as well, we're back at 1 o'clock today. Got DT on the show again. He was on last Wednesday, so it's me and DT at 1 o'clock taking your questions, interacting. That's going to be good fun. And I've dropped a link in the video description for the Europa League stream final this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Links to the video description. Make sure you subscribe, get your notifications on for that. I'll see you at 1 o'clock with DT. Speak to you soon. Ow, bang my finger.